legislative leader, especially with the 2/3 requirement we have in this state, which I think, I know it's a little bit of a tired old saw, but when you really think about it and when you really look at it, that is the cause of so much of the dysfunction that exists in the legislature. You have a minority party that obviously worked in tandem with the governor to cost the state another $6 to $7 billion tonight, and for no good reason, to somehow improve your negotiating position. It's without question the most irresponsible act I have seen in my 15 years of public service. It's a major blunder, and I hope that its significance catches enough attention that people will truly say it's time to change a system which allows the minority to essentially rule the day. And that's not just the Senate Republicans, it's the governor as well, who was apparently out to prove a point, and he proved a point. And so, look, as disappointing as it is, I called session tomorrow morning for 10 o'clock because we still have a budget to resolve. And we will come back and we will continue to try to tackle the problem. Whatever feelings of disappointment I have about the performance of some of the principles in this chapter, I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to work with whoever I need to work with to solve the problem. That's what the people expect of us, and that's what we'll continue to do. I know for myself and for my Democratic colleagues that we did everything possible, everything in our power to avert this outcome. We put up 25 votes, but more importantly, I was in the governor's office daily, on the phone today, sought various compromises, even within the Health and Human Services area, which of course we've taken a rightful and proud stand around. But in the end, the governor wanted it his way. He wanted the cuts he wanted the reforms he wanted, and he wanted it right away. And so whatever point he thinks he may have made, there's one undeniable fact. California is worse off tonight than it was yesterday. And all we can do is to get a little bit of a night's sleep and get up tomorrow morning and continue to work towards a resolution. And that's what I'll do.
Was there any movement at all between you and the governor from 4 o'clock on?
Well, no, because again, I don't like to get into who called who. It's not important. But I made a number of overtures to the governor over the past several days, including a number of overtures today. And I said it at our press availability. We were willing to, and I gave him a letter in which we indicated we were willing to vote today on IHSS fraud reforms, on starting the process of moving health care for the elderly and disabled to Medi-Cal managed care, and to begin to create a more efficient system of determining eligibility for public assistance. We put those out. Also spoke with the governor and his representatives about our willingness to go even a little bit higher in health and human services by finding a few different efficiencies that hadn't been accounted for in the past, and the response was consistent. I want all of my cuts, or I want most all of my cuts and all of my policy changes that are far-reaching and that deserve at least a modicum of, debate in the houses of the legislature. So I'm very unhappy tonight, obviously. Who wouldn't be? And very disappointed. But I do at least feel that I gave it, and my caucus gave it, everything we had to try to avoid this outcome. Okay?
Darrell, is dealing with the governor essentially the same as dealing with the Republican caucus?
It sure was during this round, and it's funny, it's new movie, different script, I suppose, because we all know the dynamic back in February, and this time, of course, the Senate Republicans were lockstep with the governor, and everybody has the right to their vote in their position, and the public will have to judge it accordingly. Again, no interest in winning any political points here. Not what it's about. Not interested in having hours of floor session or, speaking on the floor time after time. Just wanted to avoid a worse situation for the people of California. Yeah.
What does this do for the IOU situation?
Well, that's the reason why we will get back at it tomorrow because, Controller Chung said he wouldn't start issuing the IOUs until July 2nd. Tomorrow's July 1st, so we have another day to try to at least avert the IOUs, and that's what we'll do.
Essentially, it's $27 billion deficit now, or it's $30 billion?
I think that's a reasonable conclusion tonight. Certainly we're going to look at any and every way that we might be able to recapture those lost savings, and we certainly have the smartest people I know around. We're looking at every responsible way to get out of this. But look, there's no question about it. Assemblymember Blakesley and the Assembly have their differences on the budget. No question about it. But they decided to come together to avoid a worse situation. The Senate Democrats, we put up all of our votes, and you saw at the end that wasn't necessarily an easy thing. But it occurred, and the governor and the Senate Republicans said they wanted to take this not to the brink, beyond the brink. And what a bad outcome for the people of California.
Senator, if Senator Maldonado had voted for them, was there a 27th vote?
I don't know. And, I feel bad. This wasn't... Senator Maldonado just happened to be the one member who hadn't cast a vote, as opposed to the others who had voted no. If they hadn't cast a vote, then their name would have been called 15 times. So he really isn't the center of the issue here and doesn't deserve, any of the blame, so to speak, except being one member of the minority party that didn't step up. But again, look at all you can do. All you can ever do in life is your very, very best. And when one chapter is over, as bad as an outcome as this is, we have to get up tomorrow and we have to work to try to solve the problem, no matter what the number is. We have a job to do, and we're going to continue to do it. Okay? Thank you. We're going to bed. Thank you all very much.